Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Narayanam Namaskrityam.
Naranchaiva Narottamam
Param Narottamam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Tato Jayamudiraye
Tato Jayamudiraye.
Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu
Taprayesu Avadresu.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Bhagavate Uttama Sloke
Bhagavate uttama sloke.
Bhaktin Bhavatir Naisiti
Bhaktim Bhavati Nastigi.
Kṛṣṇāya Vasudevaya
Krishnaya Vasudevaya.
Devaki Nandanaya Cha
Devaki Nandanaya Cha.
Nandagopa Kumaraya
Nandagopa Kumaraya.
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Hare Krishna. Welcome all the devotees for the morning Srimad Bhagavatam discussion. Today we are going to discuss about the sloka number, Canto 2, Chapter 3, text number 21. Two, 3, 21. The canto name is The Cosmic Manifestation and the chapter name is The Pure Devotional Service, The Change in the Heart. Please repeat the sloka behind me. bhāraḥ param paṭṭa-kirīṭa-juṣṭam
Varaha param paṭṭa-kirīṭa-juṣṭam.
uttamāṅgaṁ namen mukundam
Api uttamāṅgaṁ namen mukundam.
śāvau karau kurute saparyāṁ
śāvau karau kurute saparyāṁ.
harer lasat-kāñcana-kaṅkaṇau
Harer lasat-kāñcana-kaṅkaṇau.
Word by word meaning, please repeat behind me. bhāraḥ,
Bhāraḥ,
the great burden.
the great burden.
param,
Param,
heavy.
heavy.
paṭṭa,
Paṭṭa,
silk.
silk.
kirīṭa,
Kirīta,
turban.
turban.
juṣṭam,
Juṣṭam,
dressed with.
dressed with.
api, even.
Win,
uttama, upper. aṅgam,
aṅgam,
parts of the body.
parts of the body.
Never.
Never.
namet,
Namet,
bow down.
bow down.
mukundam,
Mukundam,
Lord Kṛṣṇa, the deliverer.
Lord Kṛṣṇa, the deliverer.
śāvau,
śāvau,
dead bodies.
dead bodies.
karau,
Karau,
hands.
hands.
No,
No,
do not.
do not.
kurute,
Kurute,
do.
do.
saparyāṁ,
Saparyāṁ,
worshipping.
shipping.
hareḥ,
Harihi,
of the personality of Godhead.
of the personality of Godhead.
lasat,
Lasat,
glittering.
glittering.
Kāñcana,
Kañcana,
made of gold.
made of gold.
Kaṅkaṇau,
Kaṅkaṇau,
bangles.
bangles.
Va,
Ba,
even though.
even though.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charna Vrinda A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation, please repeat behind me. The upper portion of the body,
Upper portion of the body,
though crowned with a silk turban,
though crowned with a silk turban,
is only a heavy burden
is only a heavy burden.
if not bowed down
If not bow down
before the personality of Godhead,
for the personality of Godhead,
who can awake mukti.
can award mukti,
Who can award mukti, freedom.
freedom.
And the hands,
On the hands,
though decorated with
though decorated with
glittering bangles,
glittering bangle,
are like
like
those of a dead man,
those of a dead man,
if not engaged in the service of
if not engaged in the service of
the personality of Godhead Hari.
the personality of Godhead Hari.
Purport. As stated herein before, there are three kinds of devotees of the Lord. The first class devotee does not at all see anyone who is not in the service of the Lord. But the second class devotee makes distinction between devotees and non-devotees. The second class devotees are therefore meant for preaching work, and as referred to in the above verse, they must loudly preach the glories of the Lord. The second class devotee accepts disciples from the section of third class devotee or non-devotees. Sometimes the first class devotee or comes down to the category of the second class devotee for preaching work. But the common man who is expected to become at least a third class devotee is advised herein to visit the temple of the Lord and bow down before the deity, even though he may be a very rich man or even a kind with a silk turban or crown, and or even a king with a silk turban or crown. The Lord is the Lord of everyone, including the great king and emperors. And men who are rich in the estimation of mundane people must therefore make it a point to visit the temple of Lord Sri Kṛṣṇa and regularly bow down before the deity. The Lord in the temple in the worshipable form is never to be considered to be made of stone or wood. For the Lord, his Archa incarnation as the deity in the temple shows immense favor to the fallen souls by his auspicious presence. By the hearing process, as mentioned herein before, this realization of the presence of the Lord in the temple is made possible. As such, the first process is the routine work of devotional service. Hearing is the essential point. Hearing by all class of devotees from the authentic source like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam is essential. The common man who is puffed up with his material position and does not bow down before the deity of the Lord in the temple, or who defies temple worship without any knowledge of the science must know that his so-called turban or crown will only succeed in future drowning him in the water of the ocean of material existence. The drowning man with a heavy weight on his head is sure to be down more swiftly than those who have no heavy weight. A foolish, puffed up man defies the signs of God and says that God has no meaning for him. But when he is in the grip of God's law and is caught by some disease like cerebral tuber thrombosis, that godless man sinks into the ocean of nuisance by the weight of his material accusation. Advancement of material science without God consciousness is a heavy load on the head of human society. And so, one must take heed of this great warning. The common man, if he has no time to worship the Lord, may at least engage his hands for a few seconds in washing or sweeping the Lord's temple. Maharaja Prataputra, the greatly powerful king of Orisha, was always very busy with heavy state responsibilities. Yet he made it a point to sweep the temple of Lord Jagannatha at Puri once a year during the festival of the Lord. The idea is that however important a man one may be, he must accept the supremacy of the Supreme Lord. This God consciousness will help a man even in his material prosperity. Maharaja Prataputra's subordination before Lord Jagannatha made him a powerful king, so much so that even the great Patan in his time could not enter into Orissa on account of the powerful Maharaja Prataputra. And last, Maharaja Prataputra was graced by Lord Sri Chaitanya on the very grounds of his acceptance of subordination to the Lord of the universe. So even though a rich man's wife has glittering bangles made of gold on her hands, she must engage herself in rendering service to the Lord. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमदे भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामी इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादे पाशाश देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा। Hare Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa Kṛṣṇa, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Kṛṣṇa. So the continuation of this yesterday's verse, whatever we discussed in the previous class, all the verses is pointing the worshipping of the Godhead, worshipping of the Supreme Lord. So today we are talking about the person whose upper body means above the waist. That person, if he is, even though the person wearing the turban, silk turban in his head, like the only who the kings used to wear the silk turban or the crown, that will be burden for them if they are not bowing down in front of the Lord. Before the Lord, they have to bow down. So if it is not, if they are not bowing down, if they are puffed up with their opulences, material opulences, that only will give the material nuisance to them in the future. That's what this sloka is saying. Also, the hands, if you see the Maharanis, the wives of kings, so their hands, they will decorated with the glittering bangles. If they are not using that kind of, even though they are wearing so much of costliest bangles, they have to serve the Lord with the hands. If they are not serving the Lord, the hands are equal to the dead man hand. That's what this sloka is saying. That. So the two things. So our hand should serve the Lord and our head bowing down before the Lord. This is the 2 point that emphasized in this sloka. So it is not necessary that Lord is waiting for our obeisances. Lord is always wanted our services. In Brahma Samhita, Brahma is saying that if you see this sloka, Brahma Samhita 5.29, here, third line, if you see only the third line, Lakshmi Shagasra Sada Sambaram Sevya Manam. So here, Lakshmi Sagastra, that means there are thousands of Lakshmis, hundreds and thousands of Lakshmis or gopis, they are waiting to serve the Lord. Always they are serving by the Lord. They are serving the Lord always. These hundreds and thousands of Lakshmis or gopis. So those thousands of Lakshmis are waiting to serve the Lord. Then why Lord wanted to wait for our service? We are insignificant in front of Lakshmi. But that Lakshmi herself, it is waiting to serve the Lord. That means we are very insignificant. So we should not puff up with our material opulences. So that is from this sloka, we can understand this thing, same thing. And also, in Srimad Bhagavatam, another verse, in the Srimad Bhagavatam 5.11.17, if you see, by reading only the translation, this uncontrolled mind is the greatest enemy of the living entity. If one neglects it or gives it a chance, it will grow more and more powerful and will become victorious. Although it is not factual, it is very strong. It covers the constitutional position of the soul. O king, please try to conquer this mind by the weapon of service to the lotus feet of the spiritual master and of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Do this with great care. So here, Sukadeva Goswami is giving the advice to Parikshit Maharaj. So, what is the advice? Our mind is my mind is uncontrollable. Uncontrolled mind is a great enemy for the living entity. So mind can be, you can tame your mind to become your friend, or if you are not able to tame, then it will be an uncontrolled enemy. Your mind only the uncontrollable enemy for us. Our mind only uncontrolled enemy for us. So the mind can be an enemy and mind can be a friend. So it is based on how we are taming our mind. So here in this sloka, it is saying that our mind is very strong. So we have to keep our mind always reminding the mind that our constitutional position of the soul. Our soul constitutional position is we are the servants. We are always the servant. We are very insignificant. That we need to remind the mind. Otherwise, what we will do, mind? if some 10 people come and glorify, what will happen? Immediately we will puff it off. Okay, these people are glorifying me, like that. So even if you see in temples, any temple, if any old temples, if you see, if you go and see the old temple, the Garbhagriha, it will be the entrance of the Garbhagriha, it will be very small. If a person, the pujari, if you need to enter the Garbhagriha, you need to bend, then only you can enter the Garbhagriha. Otherwise, it is not possible for him. See, that is a symbolic way that even a person who is serving the Lord, Archa Vikraha, the pujari who is even though he is a chief pujari, who used to go inside the Garbhagriha and who is doing the service to the Lord, even that person need to bend his head and then he need to enter the Garbhagriha. So otherwise, what will happen? Yes, the pujari, in the olden days, the pujari will come out from the temple, means all the people will go on bowing down before him and touch his feet, and they will give so much of dakshana, this and all. So the pujari should not puff it up with this. Okay, hey, I'm the head pujari. I'm doing the daily service to the Lord. I'm the big person. That kind of mentality should not come for that pujari. Because of that, the entrance of the Garbhagriha, it is made up with very small entrance, so that while entering, he should bend himself so that he can remember that I am the servant here. He should not think that because other people are giving so much of respect, so much of money, this and that, he should not pop up with that. So he is bending down and he is going. So that is the way the temple is made up of. And also in the sloka, this purport, Prabhupada is explaining that one should regularly bow down before the deity. And in this, for the 5.11.17, here also, Shukadeva Goswami is saying that one should always lotus feet of we need to serve the lotus feet of always need to bow down before the lotus feet of the spiritual master and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is the reason whenever we are entering the room of the spiritual master, if you are entering the spiritual master's room, first we need to do the pranam, and we need to come out. While coming out, we need to do the Dandavat pranam. Similarly, when you are going to the temple, there also, while entering, you need to do the pranam to the Lord, and while coming out, you need to do the pranam to the Lord. So this is the way we are giving our respect. What is kind of why bowing down is becoming a respect? Because we are standing, our head is in the top. So our mind is thinking that I'm in the top of the world. So in order to bow down means our head in the top part of our body, it is touching the ground. That means we are in front of the Lord. We are saying that we are nothing. We are equal to your feet, Lord. And under your feet, we are under your feet, Lord. Like that we are saying. So that is the reason we are touching our head to the ground. So in front of the Supreme Lord and as well as the spiritual master, we have to bow down. So that is the reason in our scriptures also always saying that at least 3 times a day, you have to bow down before the Lord. Bow down before your spiritual master. 3 times a day. That's the reason 3 Sandhi, it is mentioned. 3 Sandhi time. First in the morning 6 o'clock, afternoon 12 o'clock, evening 6 o'clock. The 3 Sandhi, we have to do the worship of the spiritual master as well as the Supreme Lord. During that time, we need to bow down before them, so that our pride will go out. Otherwise, the pride will increase day by day, because our mind is very much attracted by the illusionary energy of the Maya. So we will be puffed up. So in order to remain the mind, we have to bow down before the Lord and before the spiritual master every day. And in always our Srila Prabhupada's spiritual master, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, he used to say that whenever you wake up from your bed, beat your mind with your shoes. 100 times beat your mind with your shoes. And whenever you are going to the bed, beat your mind with your broom 100 times. You need to beat your mind with a broom. Why he is saying like that? It is not beating with chappal, beating with broom. Because mind, it is It is a subtle element. We cannot beat the mind. Means that way we have to understand that our mind is so much of polluted. So we have to remind our mind, we are the servant. We are servant of the Supreme Lord. We always a servitor. Our constitutional position is servitor only. We are not the enjoyer. We are not the master. So that we need to be remind to our mind. That's the reason that Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj used to say that beat your mind with chappal and broom morning and evening. So and remind the mind that your position is under the feet of the lotus feet of the Lord. So that is the way we can remind ourselves that we are not the masters. And in Srimad Bhagavatam again, the 10th canto, 10, 14 and 8, sloka number 8. Here also, here it is saying what I will read the translation. My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reaction of his past misdeeds and offering your respective obeisances with his heart, words, and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. So here also Sukadeva Goswami is explaining that one with the respectable obeisances with the heart, words, and body. Body means doing the Dandavat Pranam to the Lord. So whoever doing this with the heart, with words, with body, the respectable obeisances, they are sure, he's saying that they are surely eligible for the liberation. So it has become his rightful claim also. He can claim also. For liberation, he can claim with the Supreme Personality of Godhead because he was heart, words, and bodily, he was doing the obeisances to the Lord. So the obeisances and thinking ourselves lower than anyone is a very humble, and that will advance, that will make us advance in the spiritual path. And in Shikshastakam, if you see the Sistastakam, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sistastakam, he wrote 8 texts only. The third text, if you see the third text, Trinadapi Sunichena Tadorapi Sahisnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniyaga Sada Hari. So here one should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. So, who can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly? So, for that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving the example of the grass. So, the grass in the street, if you go on the put your leg on the grass, the grass won't defend. What will do? It will bend down, and once you take out your leg, and it will come up. So that is the humble. It is showing the humbleness. It is that grass is example for the humbleness. So we also need to be in that mode. So we also need to be humble, and also about, he is talking about more tolerant than a tree. One should be more tolerant than a tree. So tree, the tree is giving fruits, and it is giving the shadow, and it is useful for many purposes. The tree will be useful for many purposes, even though tree is live and it is dead. Both the cases, the tree will be useful. All parts of the trees are useful. So the similar way, but still, even though somebody cutting the tree, somebody throwing a stone to take the fruit, the tree won't react. It will accept each and everything. It will tolerate even the beating, even the cutting, everything it will tolerate. And that is the example Mahaprabhu given to us, that we should be more tolerant than a tree. So, because of the false prestige, so we have to, we are puffed up with our prestige things. So we are seniors. I have more money. I have the richest person. All the people come on, bow down before me. I should not bow down before anyone. Like that, the mind will always, it will keep us in a imaginary mode. Imaginary means it is kind of a puffed up mode. So in order to calm down that, our mind should be always thinking that more tolerant, we should be more tolerant than a tree. If somebody not respected also, we need to respect others. We need to offer our all respect to others. So that is the way we should not, suppose we are going to the temple, if you are seeing the Vaisnavas, so it is mentioned that Vaisnavas, if you are seeing the Vaisnavas, we need to do the Dandavat Pranam, we do the obeisances. We should not accept that, okay, first let the other person do the obeisances, then let me do that. If he is not doing, I won't do. We should not be in that case. We should be always, because we are respecting the Vaishnava as well as the person. We know that because why we are respecting the Vaishnava means that he is carrying the Lord in his heart. Lord is sitting in the super soul. He is carrying the Lord in the heart. And he is also having that consciousness that he is serving the Lord. So because of that, we are doing the obeisances first to the Lord and next to the person who is carrying the Lord. So that is the meaning of doing the obeisances to the Vaishnavas. So in that mood, we need to do the obeisances. We should not think that puffed up with because I am a senior, I have so much of money, I'm the richest person, I'm doing so much of service in this temple, I'm doing this so much of Lakshmi to this, donating this temple. So all the persons come down and offer their obeisances to before me. We should not be in that mood. We should be always in the mood of doing the obeisances in front of others. So in that mood only, one person can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. So even this is the verdict of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And here the Prabhupada talked about Maharaja Prataputra in Orissa province. So during the Mahaprabhu time, Maharaja Prataputra, who was ruling the Orissa, that time he was the great devotee of the Lord. Maharaja Prataputra is a great devotee of the Lord. That time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he wanted to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and get his blessings. But since Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a sannyasi, the sannyasi, he don't want to meet a materially opulent person. King is a materially opulent person. He has so much of opulences. He don't want to meet him. He avoided multiple times. Maharaja Prataputra wanted to meet him, but he unable to. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he avoided him and he denied to meet the Maharaj. So one day, what happened? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was resting in the park. So he was under the tree, he was sleeping. That time, Maharaja Prataputra, he changed his clothes like a devotee. So normal, he was a king. So he removed all his crown, dress, everything. He removed kingly opulences, everything he removed. He wore only just a dhoti and just a towel on top of the body. So with a simple dress, he went and he sat next to Mahaprabhu and he gave massage to his legs. And during that time, he was singing the Gopi Geet. So immediately Mahaprabhu wake up and he embraced Maharaja Prataputra. He know that he is a Maharaja Prataputra, but still he is in the mood of serving the spiritual master. And he came and even though he is a king, he is come and doing the massage to the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he is singing the Gopi Geet. That mood, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understood, he embraced him. So he blessed him. So that is the way. So the person, even though he is a king, one person to become a devotee, go in the humble mode, even the Lord will bless them. So this is the example of Maharaja Prataputra. And Prabhupada is explaining that since he was a great devotee of the Lord, he was a very humble. Nobody could conquer during that time. Nobody, because there are Muslims, they invade in that time. So they were unable to beat Maharaja Prataputra because the Lord also blessed him because he is the very humble and he is the pious king. That is the reason Lord also giving his support to him. So that is the way. So today's sloka, it is talking about those. We need to always be humble. So two things is explained here. Even though you become a king, because in the Lord's Vaikuntha, it is always there is a sound will be having tongue, sound will be there. Why there is a sound? Because the entrance where the Jagai Madai, the Jai Vijay, they are standing, there is a front door. Inside Vaikuntha, Lord Hari and with Lakshmi they are staying there. In that entrance, that 33 crores of demigods continuously they will come and they will do their obeisances. When they do their obeisances, they will touch their head in the ground, in the entrance. So the entrance, when they touch, they have the crown sound, it will touch the ground. If the ground sound, always it will come. So always there is a sound there in the Vaikuntha. Sir, tongue, continuously, non-stop, because 33 crores demigods coming and Daily they will come and do the obeisance to the Supreme Lord. So that is the way the Supreme Lord is. It is serious. We cannot imagine what is his position. So we have to bow down before the Supreme Lord until unless we need to bow down before the demigod, before the Supreme Lord and the spiritual master. So the person, even though you are wearing a crown, you become a big person, and also you are wearing so much of glittering bangles in your hand. So if you are not serving the Lord, not giving the obeisance to the Lord, those are equal to it's a dead body, dead man only, like that in the today's sloka is saying that. So please understand this sloka. It is very much important sloka that we have to always bowing down and always humble obeisances to the spiritual master and the Supreme Lord, because they are very great people to graciously, with their mercy, they are showing the costless mercy on us, so that we are able to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, we are able to read Srimad Bhagavatam, we are able to do little devotional activities, we are getting a pinch of taste of bhakti. So because of the Supreme Lord costless mercy and because of the spiritual master costless mercy. So we have to always give our obeisance to them, so that we will progress in our bhakti. Hare Kṛṣṇa. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai.